Lakeland, Florida. Gordon Beckham was an early arrival at Joker Marchant Stadium on Saturday morning after starting at shortstop for the Tigers on Friday night. He had good news waiting for him. The Tigers informed Beckham that he has made their opening day roster, since Beckham was a non-roster. Lakeland, Florida. Gordon Beckham was an early arrival at Joker Marchant Stadium on Saturday morning after starting at shortstop for the Tigers on Friday night. He had good news waiting for him. The Tigers informed Beckham that he has made their opening day roster, since Beckham was a non-roster invitee to camp with enough Major League service time. The Tigers had to add him to the roster by Saturday or allow him to opt out of his deal and become a free agent. They could have also offered him a $100,000 retention bonus to accept a minor league assignment. Ronnie Rodriguez, Beckham's remaining competitor for a utility infield role, was optioned to AAA at Toledo on Saturday. To create space for Beckham on the 40-man roster, the Tigers placed Michael Fulmer on the 60-day injured list. He's scheduled to undergo season-ending Tommy John surgery next week. When Beckham is introduced next Thursday at Rogers Centre in Toronto, it'll mark his first opening day in the majors since 2016, when he made the Braves roster as a utility infielder. He spent the last 2 seasons bouncing between Seattle and AAA Tacoma, then came to Tigers camp on a minor league deal, talking about giving it one last shot in the majors. "It means a lot to me," Beckham said, looking back and having to grind it out in AAA a little bit the last 2 years. "It makes it worth it. Glad I did it." To get the news Saturday morning, he said, was something he appreciated more than his first call-up to the majors in 2009, a year after he was a first-round draft pick of the White Sox. "When I was first called up, I didn't even know what was going on," Beckham said. "You get to the big leagues and you get there quick, and you don't even realize what you're doing. But now I understand. It kind of comes full circle. It's just more the work to get there. It wasn't fun going through it, but I'm glad I stuck it out." Though Beckham came to camp competing for an open spot at second base, he pivoted quickly when Detroit signed Josh Harrison a month ago. Once games started, Beckham kept playing, and playing, and playing, including 3 starts at shortstop this week. "You want people in those roles that you don't have to worry about," manager Ron Gardenhire said Friday night before making the decision official. "They know how to play. I don't have to go looking for them, saying you have to be ready here." He's every bit of that. The 32-year-old Beckham came into Saturday batting .279, 12 for 43, with 4 doubles, a home run, 5 RBIs, 9 walks and 12 strikeouts, displaying the swing he revamped with help from his father-in-law, Tigers instructor and former Major League infielder Scott Fletcher. Wilson released Beckham wasn't the only Tigers camp invitee who had to be told his fate by Saturday. Catcher Bobby Wilson had a similar opt-out, and was informed he will not make the club. He was granted his release, according to a source, and his locker has been cleared from the Tigers clubhouse. The Tigers could still try to re-sign Wilson to a minor league contract to provide catching depth, but the soon-to-be 36-year-old is expected to gauge the market. He played 47 games for the Twins last year. The moves left 28 players on the Tigers camp roster, including 13 position players. Wilson's release gives Cameron Rupp a chance to make the opening day roster as a third catcher, but Rupp said he has not been told anything yet. Though Rupp is a non-roster invitee, he does not have enough service time to qualify for a Saturday opt-out. What's left with Beckham helping fill out the bench? The focus now turns to the Tigers pitching staff, which has 15 members for likely 13 spots. With Drew Verhagen seemingly ready for opening day, the Tigers must decide between Spencer Turnbull and Daniel Norris for the rotation spot opened by Fulmer's injury. If Norris doesn't make the rotation, he could still end up in relief, though the Tigers would have to either not carry Rule 5 pick Reed Garrett or drop Buck Farmer or Victor Alcantara to do so. Up next, the Tigers close out their Grapefruit League schedule on Sunday with a 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time game against the Blue Jays at Joker Marchant Stadium. Jason Beck has covered the Tigers for MLB.com since 2002. Read Beck's blog and follow him on Twitter at BeckJason. Read more. Detroit Tigers Gordon Beckham.